Hey, welcome back. I'm Debbie Cottle. For those of you who've never been to my channel before, today we're going to talk about a little known concept anymore called the Golden Rule. The Golden Rule is actually a biblical principle, and it really is just very simple. Treat people the way you want to be treated. I love the Golden Rule, especially in applying it to relationships, because it's not a passive way of thinking. So much of the time when I listen to people talk, they say things like, I'll treat you the way you treat me. You disrespect me, I'll disrespect you. You treat me with respect, I'll treat you with respect. You meet my needs, I'll meet your needs. That's a very passive way to think. That's you sitting back and waiting for somebody else to do something before you then reciprocate. But the key to the Golden Rule and what makes it so successful in relationships is that it requires us as individuals to step up and do something first. This is essential to the success of happy relationships, happy partnerships, happy marriages. So let's break down the Golden Rule into 3 steps. The first component of the Golden Rule, or the first step that we're going to talk about, is communication, civil communication. This is such a challenge when your relationship is struggling or you're often in conflict, because the last thing that we tend to regard is the other person's feelings when we're upset. We want to interrupt. We want to get our point across. We want to retreat out of our own anger, our own hurt. So we might shut down, we might yell, we might scream, we might curse, we might be threatening in our body posture. We might just sort of agree to avoid conflict. And when we apply civil communication, we are saying, hey, I'm not the only person in this relationship whose thoughts and feelings matter. I need to treat this person with the same kind of civility, the same kind of politeness, the same kind of kindness that I want to be treated with. If I want him to show up in this relationship and be thoughtful of me and what I want and need, if I want him to talk to me in a certain way, if I want him to listen to me in a certain way, I have to show him the exact same civil communication. Okay? So I want you to think about the kinds of ways that you show up with your partner when things are tough, when things are challenging. What do you default to that steps away from being civil? Okay. What do you look like? If I was a fly on the wall and watching you get upset or react out of being hurt, react out of being afraid, what am I going to see? Well, that's what your partner's seeing. That's what he's responding to. The second part of the Golden Rule that we're going to talk about is curiosity. You got to care enough about your partner that you're curious about their perspective. What are they thinking and feeling? What are their wants and needs? How am I coming across to them? What are they experiencing in this relationship? Not just what am I experiencing? In what ways am I showing up that are helpful or hurtful? In what ways am I being damaging and destructive to our communication, to the relationship? And in what ways am I being really helpful and encouraging and supportive? So curiosity is important because you have to ask yourself those questions. You have to show curiosity about where your partner is actually coming from in order for you to bring that into the relationship. The moment you stopped asking, you're only thinking about you. Let's talk about the third aspect of the Golden Rule as it applies to your partnership, to your marriage, to your relationship. And that is, what is the common good? This means stepping out of often our perspective, our default of, it's all about me. It's all about my wants and needs, and you're not meeting them. Okay. And actually looking at what's healthy and right for the relationship, which includes my needs, and it includes his needs, or if you're a guy listening to this, her needs. Okay. And the combination of my needs and your needs make the relationship's needs. So now if I'm thinking about the relationship, then I'm not just thinking about me. I'm thinking about what's best for me and Jeff, okay, my husband. So that changes my perspective. Often when I work with people who are on the brink of disaster in their relationship, AKA breaking up, and if they're married, divorced, or at the very least separated, they have defaulted to this place of, she isn't listening to me. She isn't giving me what I want and need in this relationship. She doesn't understand me. The problem with that, as we come back to the golden rule, is that now you're passively waiting for your partner to change. Okay? That doesn't work. You want your relationship to change. You want your relationship to be different, to be better. You have to actively do something different. Okay? So you have to act in the best interests of the relationship. That means you have to stop filtering everything through me as an individual and start thinking about what are our needs as a couple.